Hello and welcome to The Casual Hour, a podcast ostensibly about video games, but mostly about being after dark tonight. I'm your host, Bobby Pease. Joining me, the gamer on the go, Chase Kinnicky, and the gamer that should go, Johnny Amizich.
Don't ever talk in that tone of voice again. Don't use your bedroom voice.
This bedroom tone?
That just sounds like your NPR voice.
Bobby here with an oil leak. How's it going?
It was going a lot better before.
Good. Great.
You started talking like that.
Good.
Hey, you know what's fun?
What's fun?
Is trying to listen to the stream to see if I hear us all okay, just to make sure that we're good, while also trying to keep an ear on what's currently happening. Yeah, it was hell.
Yeah.
It was hell. But we all sound good, in my opinion.
Hey, you both look good. It's good to see both of you.
You got the lie, Craig.
It's been, 1 week since you talked to me? Listen, in my defense, look, we've gone 5 years, and I haven't used that joke once. I haven't used it once.
I'm pretty sure you have.
No. I have not. So
He has not.
I have not.
would have remembered.
Yeah, Chase would have quit, because this is it. Chase is out after that.
One time.
It's
like Jerry Seinfeld, you use it once, and you throw it out, and you start over again.
Yeah. Look, I'm sorry. I feel bad for both of you because of that. Let's make it up by talking about video games, because we got a lot to catch up on. Last week we had a deep dive, so we were enjoying that. Johnny, thank you so much for taking us through your oral history of Nintendo.
Pleasure.
And how terrible my audio was last week. It was so bad. Hopefully that's not the case right now.
Good thing you didn't talk very much.
You sounded all right. That's why I had to check.
Okay, thank you. But tonight...
But thank you, Johnny, for giving us all oral last week. I appreciate that. That's very kind.
Yeah.
You're very generous.
Any sense of relief that I can bring upon.
Absolutely. So anyway, we're going to talk about video games, which are great. We like them a lot here at the show. Tonight's what you've been playing, so we're going to catch you up on those things that we've been playing while telling you a little bit about the news later on with that casual report. And I always like to pick my favorite person first on this show. So Chase Kinnicky, how would you like to talk about the games that you've been playing?
Yeah, I could do that. Let's see here. I've mostly been playing Super Robot Wars. Let's not get it twisted.
Is it becoming something that you enjoy, or is it more like this is work yet? Has it gotten to that point?
I actually think I'm enjoying it more.
Okay.
Because now when I spend 2 hours to do 2 episodes, it takes about an hour to finish each mission now.
Sure.
You feel productive?
Yeah, at least like now it's the podcast problem. That's what it is. Is like every time I play a game now, I feel like I got to play this because of the podcast.
Right.
So now it makes me feel okay that I'm playing this game again because it's like, this is content now.
Sure.
Yeah.
I hate that I'm a content creator and I hate it. But
for those of you listening, those of you watching,
good.
he's talking about the awesome stream that a really great guest is going to be on eventually, where he's playing through this Saturday, part 5 or 6 of 600, I think. Who fucking knows? But he's talking about his playthrough on the YouTube channel, and we'll have some links to that here in just a little bit.
So I actually can know. Let's see. Today is the 19th, so part 7 just went up, like as we're speaking. And then, Bobby, you were on part 8, which does come up Saturday.
Cool. Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Good for that. Anyway, so I've been playing a lot of Super Robot Wars, and that game's great. I don't need to talk about it here. You literally can watch me play it and hear all my thoughts there. So I'll talk about some other stuff instead.
You do a really good job with that.
Well, I question whether you're actually watching all of that, because I can't imagine anybody wanting to watch.
I'm not going to play the game, but I want to know what happens. I got mechs I'm invested in. I need to know.
Them robots.
Okay. I'm looking forward to having Johnny on sometime. Johnny and I have secret... Well, yeah, I am. Because Johnny is a good friend who watches the anime I suggest to him. And Johnny and I are currently watching the original Mobile Suit Gundam.
It's so good.
It's slow going, but I'm enjoying it. We're having a fun discussion each week, and then so when somebody new joins the cast in Super Robot Wars X, coming in about 15, 20 episodes, it'll be a bit. I'll get Johnny on so he can meet up with a character. I mean, you can come on earlier if you want. You just won't know any of the people. Anyway, this is not about video games. This is not about the games that I've actually been playing. I've been playing a demo of a game that we talked about for our May preview, and that is King of Seas.
Yeah.
We kind of just glazed over it in the preview because, and it's fair. I also glazed over it. I thought it looked cool. It's a pirate game. It's like a isometric kind of view. You are on a ship and you are sailing around. It's not a roguelike, but you can kind of play it like one. It has like a hardcore mode where if your ship sinks, you lose everything and you can start it up again.
It looked like it was a little punitive, even. Like some of those guys were ripping you apart.
Yeah. So on the demo, I'm playing on the normal difficulty, and I felt like I was getting the shit beat out of me. If I did play this, I think I'd bump it down to easy and see how that was. But I think there's something kind of neat about it. The way I like the way it controls. It's not just moving with the left stick. You actually bring up the sails. You have 3 different sails on your boat, and you can open them up one at a time to go different speeds, and you can close them one at a time to go different speeds. It doesn't have like a perfect wind model that's happening. You don't have to put the sails in the right spot, but you just have to open and close them individually, and then your left stick is just turning the boat.
Okay.
So it actually does feel a little like driving a boat, having the throttle and steering, but not, being able to have full control over it.
Okay.
That part's really cool.
And that quick look is up.
Yeah, that quick look's up. You can watch me. It's solo quick look, our first solo quick look as the casual hour. I think Bobby's done some solos back on the Lumberjack Smack days, but it was kind of fun to see more of that game. I'm glad I just played a demo. I don't know if it's something that I'm going to buy when the full release comes out. I found it to be a little fiddly.
Sure.
It has maybe too many mechanics to it. Your boat has 3 different health bars. You've got your hull. You've got your You've got your hull. You've got your crew health, and you've got your sail health. And damaging any one of those has different consequences. Certain ones, I think everything but crew, you can heal up using repair kits that you can find, but crew, you need to find new people, or there's also a tech tree, and you can find some things that regain crew through that. It's just got a lot of stuff in it, and I think there's something kind of there. You can watch the quick look and see that it's pretty early in the quick look. I'm not doing any advanced stuff, and the demo itself, you only get to play an hour. It gives you 60 minutes, and then it says like, yeah, hey, you can
pay us.
You can pick this up later. But thankfully, it does when you're in cutscenes, and there are lots of cutscenes at the beginning of the game to explain to you lots of things. Those don't count towards your 60 minutes, so that is kind of nice. So you can go watch the quick look. Play the demo yourself, see what you think of it. I found it to be kind of interesting. I'm glad I played it
on everything, right?
I think so. I played it specifically on the Switch. I think it runs okay there.
Yeah,
that was fine. The load times were a little bit long, but it seemed all right.
All right.
The art style reminds me of something I can't quite place my finger on, but it has some like Wind Waker-y vibes a little bit.
I could see that in like the 3D models, but it also has these talking heads that are hand-drawn, and those look really nice and really cartoony and almost storybook-like. Those I found to be pretty cool. The regular game, the 3D model stuff, looks fine. It looks kind of bright but generic. But I really did like those character portraits. Those look pretty cool.
Nice.
Anyway, so that's King of Seas. I've also been playing more Pokemon Snap. Speaking of quick looks, Johnny and I recorded a quick look for that. I think that'll go up sometime relatively soon, right, Bobby?
Could be going up.
As we like to call it, more Pokemon Snap.
As you listen to this episode, if you're listening to the podcast, it is up. If you're watching us now, there's a good chance it will be up tomorrow.
Very cool. So we've talked about Pokemon Snap a little bit on the show, but just to kind of give an update, I think that game is pretty good. As Johnny says, I think my opinion has gone to it's more Pokemon Snap rather than new Pokemon
Which isn't
Snap.
a bad thing.
It's not necessarily a bad thing. Like, I love the original Pokemon Snap. Having more of that game is good, is cool.
It's better than not having it.
Very true. It's better than how long has it been? Like the 20 years that we haven't had Pokemon Snap?
Mm-hmm.
I'm glad you're bringing it back up, because I wanted to talk to you two about it, because I've had a chance to listen to a few other people. I told you all I really enjoyed playing Pokemon Snap back in the day. I have not picked this game up because I just had this uneasiness about getting back into it, knowing that it didn't really seem to be doing a whole lot more, and I just didn't know if I had the energy to really commit to a game like that right now, where it was like trying to figure out some of these. Like, for me, it just feels like a game you have to play a lot, and I don't know if I have the bandwidth to do that right now.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, you can jump in and get through a course pretty quickly. But it's not a huge time commitment. But if you want to see all the things that these different courses have to offer, then yes, you'll be running through them many times.
A session is very short, but to get through the full game is incredibly repetitive, which is maybe the biggest difference that it has from the original game. That original game you could knock out in an afternoon.
Yeah.
If you knew what you were doing. In this game, it definitely wants you to go back and go through these courses time and time again, and you'll unlock slightly new variations. Hey, this is where it is at night. Hey, you've unlocked research level 2, so now if you go through it during the day again, things are going to be in slightly different places. You might see a new Pokemon that you hadn't seen before.
Totally.
Come back here once you have a Fluff Fruit. Now you can use the Fluff Fruit, and maybe you'll get some different actions. Come back here when you get the Lumina Ball, and then that might get you some different interactions. Come back here when you get the Pokemon Flute, and that might give you some. And it's like, okay, I get it. You want me to play these courses a lot.
It's almost Metroidvania.
Okay. I see where you're going with that, but I don't think the game actually has enough of those interactions to make it feel like a Metroidvania to me. It's not like I have a key that opened a door. It's more like I threw a fruit at something, and it might do something. I don't know, and it's all just kind of a little ambiguous on what actually makes things do whatever they do.
Let me ask you your opinion on 2 points that have kind of been like bouncing around my head. We haven't talked about this off pod. This is the first time I brought it up to you. I'm not the first person to ask these questions by any means, but I think they're interesting. First and foremost, I don't think that this game with the Switch's power needs to be on rails. I think that this needs to be something that you can get out and walk around and explore on your own. That's
the dream,
right? So
for sure.
That's part one. The other part comes really. This is more towards Chase, and not that you don't take pictures, Johnny, but Chase has really done stuff with Animal Crossing for the last year, having these events and seasonal things where I think that he's done some and it's just not taking a picture of this villager or this. He's staging things up. He's putting effort into it. He's really setting what this could be. And from my understanding, I haven't played it, so maybe I'm wrong, this game forces you to take shitty photos. It does not celebrate you taking artistic photos. It does not if you know anything about photography, forget it. From what I understand, put the Pokemon at the center of it. You're not going to really get a whole lot of artistic stuff for a game focused on photography. From what I'm hearing, it's a bit still caught 20 years old. When you say more Pokemon Snap, I'm thinking, okay, they had to put this game on rails. They had to be limited on what they could do with photo modes because they hadn't really been a thing back then. Here we are now, 2021. Love to hear your thoughts on those two things.
Yeah, let's break those down. The first thing, Johnny and I absolutely talk about that in the quick look, where that is the dream to have this more safari style. I walk around as a photographer. Maybe I have these same pieces of equipment, but I can use them in a more open world field area. Do something a little bit more puzzle based with that. I would be totally in favor of that. That would be the new Pokemon Snap that I'm looking for. I don't think it's bad to have it stay the way it is. And this is a very specific kind of game where it is more of a puzzle game. And I think that also ties into the second point that you have there, where the photography is definitely part of it, but the photography is a means to an end, and the end is a puzzle game. So it's more about solving the puzzle than it is taking an artistic photo.
That's fair. It's capturing the Pokemon doing this thing, and hey, that's a 4-star photo right there. But also,
now I think the first game did a better job of making it feel like a puzzle game than this one does, because again, I feel like I have some of those interactions with the fruit or the Lumina balls or the flute or the scanner, all of these different options, and I feel like you rarely get interactions or a Pokemon making any sort of reaction to some of the things. Like, if they find a fruit on the ground, maybe they'll walk up to it and eat it. It's pretty rare, though, that I throw something and the Pokemon goes, "Oh, I'm going to do something crazy now because you threw that thing at me." It just doesn't happen as often as it did in like the first game, which did feel more like that. I certainly not to the level of Metroidvania, but that keys and doors kinds of thing. I throw the fruit at this Squirtle, it knocks him into his shell. He flies up and he hits a switch to open up the next area. That is a puzzle. And this game has nothing like that I've seen so far, which is kind of a bummer.
Sure. No,
Johnny, did you want to say anything else before I jump on the second point?
No. I'm good.
Okay. So for the second point, I would say it's good news and bad news, Bobby. So the good news is that I think let's start with the bad news. The bad news is that, yes, absolutely, a lot of that stuff has stayed the same, where it is how big can you get the Pokemon in the frame? Is the Pokemon the placement inside the frame? You want it to be dead center in the middle. Fuck the rule of thirds. We don't care about the rule of thirds here. We're taking this photo to get the Pokemon in it. They've added a new one in this one. They've added it and they haven't. I believe in the first game it was just like a pose score, and if the Pokemon wasn't looking at you, you'd get a bad pose score. Now they break up pose and direction into two different categories. And direction is just how much is the Pokemon looking directly into the lens. So you have those, and then you also have like a other Pokemon, which is just bonus points of if you have any other Pokemon. In the first game, I think it had to be multiples of the same Pokemon to get those points. In this one, if you have any other Pokemon in the frame, you get a couple of extra bonus points for anything else there.
Points. Yep.
So that is the puzzly way that it is. And I think you could justify it to yourself if you wanted to really stretch it out, that I'm a research assistant. I'm not taking artsy-fartsy photos. I'm here to take specific scientific photos.
Documentation.
And those should be done in a different way than something artistic. I think that's dumb, but you can justify it to yourself that way.
But also...
You can. So you can.
Yes. Yeah.
Here, Johnny, why don't you take this? I feel like I've talked enough.
If you see a Bidoof and you're like, that Bidoof is so fucking cute, because...
And there are lots of good fucking Bidoofs.
You can
Bidoof's a good guy.
That artsy photo and save it to your personal album and just not submit it to the professor for your grade. So if you know, like, hey, this probably wouldn't score very well towards my XP to raise my research level, but I really like this picture, you can save it, and you can even resnap it. So if you want to, add, as Chase does, a Dutch angle to your photo, or even resnap it, you can zoom out a little bit or zoom in. They have different filters that are kind of bad.
But that's not what you're getting points for, right?
No,
you don't get points for this. Like, that's still the puzzly part. Yeah. But then there is this, hey, any photo you took, whether it's the ones you submitted to the professor or not, you can choose any of those photos after he's done looking at all of them, or after he's done reporting on them. And I can keep any of those photos, and like Johnny said, I can go in and I can reframe it. You'll see it on the quick look that we did. Sure. I had this photo of Heracross, and like it's a pretty straight-on photo of Heracross. And when I did the resnap thing, I was able to zoom out a little bit, move it a little bit to the left, and there's this Wurmple that wasn't in the original frame, but now I can add it in there. So it's definitely like there's a much bigger photo that the game keeps itself,
Yep.
that it's not showing you, and you can choose how to kind of change things if you want. And you also
stickers and stuff like that.
Got it. So it has all the tropes that you would expect from like a modern photo mode.
And you can.
I wouldn't say all.
Okay.
It's got like some shitty filters where it's like, oh, look at all these silhouettes, and the silhouettes are just garbage. It's just like a colored map.
That's rough.
With like barely a silhouette. It just looks bad. They all look so bad, and I'm sure there are some other filters that you can get by completing some challenges. I know there are some borders that you can get by completing challenges, but what's there, it's no Horizon Zero Dawn. Okay. It's no Uncharted in the way that the photo mode is. Like you're not getting those kinds of shots, but you are able to do some stuff. Yeah, like we saw one in the quick look that because they'll just show up on the title screen or on the main menu kind of screen. Here are some other ones that people have uploaded, and there was one that said like it was captioned Shoryuken, and it was a pincer fighting a Heracross, and they added some electricity to it. And they also added like some big googly eyes on the pincer. So like you can do stuff with it for sure and play around with those photos and then upload them that way. Yeah. So you can get kind of artsy and silly with it if you want.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah. I have not done any of that because I find there's something about like, because I'm on this track, because these Pokemon all do the same kinds of things at the same times, more or less, that if somebody took a photo like that, I know it wasn't just something that kind of came up naturally. Like that is the game. That's the way the game has forced this interaction to go.
Sure.
And somebody just took a photo of that in the moment. Whereas if it was that kind of safari mode that you kind of talked about before in that first question, those I think would be much more interesting kinds of photos of, oh, look how I was able to find this photo. Like this is such a once in a lifetime thing that I was able to make this all this stuff coalesce at the same point. Whereas this is kind of like, yeah, I just snapped it at the right time on this track. Maybe I went over it a dozen times, and also I used the resnap feature to move it into the perfect angle. I don't know. There's something that feels a little cheaper about that to me. So I'm definitely not doing a photo a day like I did.
So do you feel like, I guess wrapping up on Pokemon, like are you both enjoying it still, or are you?
Oh yeah.
Okay, so you're liking it, but there's obviously
I like it a lot. Okay. It's just I know that there's room for improvement.
Totally.
Yes. But
I'm friends with you. I understand liking something, but saying this can be better.
Yeah, exactly.
Like all Pokemon games, it is definitely like, yeah, this is fun, but it could have been so much more.
Sure.
Yeah. And that just kind of permeates this.
But also, it's still Pokemon, so it's
still cool.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. As Satoru Iwata would say, people like taking photos of fucking Pokemon.
It's true.
Exactly. I believe that's a direct quote.
That's the exact quote.
Chase, what else have you been up to?
All right, I'll keep this one relatively quick, and I know that'll be hard.
Airing of grievances from Chase Kinnicky.
I've been playing the new season of Destiny 2 Season of the Splicer, which I think is season 13, 14.
That sounds right. Maybe that's why it's so cursed, Chase.
It's not. I'm angry about a very specific thing, and I'll talk about that in a second. But generally, I am enjoying this. I think they have done a really good job with the loot. There are lots of really fun new guns.
Cool.
In the game. There is a new 6-player activity that is similar to the Sundial that happened a handful of seasons ago, and I found that activity to be really fun. And I think this one is also quite fun. And that guarantees you some of the new loot that I also think is great. So going through that interaction, I find to be really fun. That cycle is great. The story stuff I think is kind of cool. The Vex have put the entire tower into a simulation, and the sun isn't rising. And when you're walking around the tower, you see like little lines going around, so you know this is like some simulated code area. You are not in the real tower. That stuff feels great. I think it has a lot of really great color palette options in there, or not options, but color palette choices. Lots of pinks and teals. It feels very future-y and cool. All that stuff I think is great. The thing I don't love A couple things I don't love. One, I don't love the new seasonal exotic. It's a sidearm. I think we talked about this previously, but it's a sidearm that is a stasis weapon. We only have one other stasis weapon in the game, and that's that grenade launcher.
Right.
And that's not, it definitely is a weapon, but it's not made to do damage. It doesn't really do that. It freezes opponents, and then you break them, and that does the damage. So you're not really killing things with stasis damage. This, you also kind of aren't. It's a kinetic weapon, so you're mainly just shooting regular bullets, but it's got a thing that if you get kills with it, you can then shoot your entire magazine into like a freeze bullet that will freeze somebody, and then you can break them again. So you're still not really doing stasis damage to something.
Right.
And that's kind of a bummer.
That's disappointing.
Yeah.
It's kind of disappointing. I understand why they're doing it, because they'd have to add like a whole new shield system, because right now they have shields that can match any of the weapon types in the game, or the damage types in the game. So it probably would add some extra work that you don't need when you only have 2 guns that do any sort of stasis whatsoever, and they don't really do stasis damage. I just don't find it to be a very fun gun to use. It feels a lot like Devil's Ruin, which is an exotic they brought out a handful of seasons ago that's another exotic sidearm. That one has, you can hold it to fire like a big laser beam, which is cool. It can function as a regular sidearm or this big laser beam, and those are great. But because it has an option where you either tap fire to shoot it, or you hold to shoot that big beam, it doesn't shoot on the trigger pull. It shoots on the trigger release.
That's
which
still
is
a little
not
strange for me.
It's just weird. It's not how a gun works, and it just feels
maybe not
bad
that you
in
have.
that way. So, you know what? Fair point. And this gun does the same thing, because it has... Actually, this gun has it both ways, which sucks. When you don't have the ability... When you don't have the ability triggered where you could freeze an opponent, it is tap fire. It is on trigger pull. But when that ability is potentially active, even if you're not using it, it goes to trigger release. So now the gun feels inconsistent, because I don't know when I've gotten a kill. I mean, it has
I
a little...
I don't like this. I don't like this.
Yeah, it's very fiddly where it doesn't have to be, and that kind of sucks.
Have you transmogged any armor?
I have done some transmogging of armor. I think that system is pretty well done. Yeah. But it's just the currencies that they give you that are a pain in the ass. That is all a pain in the ass. I get that Bungie put this in the game.
Destiny fashion.
Chase, I do want to bring up to something from chat, because I think it's really funny. They said that
please.
Chase is triggered over the trigger. It's fair.
Fair
It's
enough.
fair. It's fair.
Fair enough.
It's fair.
It sucks, but it's fair.
Fair.
I'll give you that.
I'm excited to check this out with you.
Yeah, I think we're going to do a stream on Friday, and I can show you guys some stuff from the new season. We can go over some of this stuff, and that'll be fun. I'm also going to make you guys do a Nightfall with me, a higher level one, and I'll get into that right now. So, the last season, they added in 3 new weapons specifically for strikes. They were bringing back weapons from Destiny 1.
Yep.
And look, it's the palindrome. Do you remember this hand cannon from Destiny 1? People used it all the time because there was a very specific roll that you could buy from the Crucible vendor. And it was a great gun. Oh, we all love the palindrome. So hey, crowd favorites coming back to Destiny 2. Do you remember Shadow Price, this auto rifle from Destiny 1? We're bringing that back too. And then a machine gun called the Swarm that I don't remember caring about. But they're all back from Destiny 1. Isn't that cool? We're bringing back these fan favorites. Okay, sure. I didn't necessarily love any of those weapons in Destiny 1, so maybe this was a problem last season too, and I just didn't realize it. But you didn't get many drops of them when you did your Nightfall strikes. You could only get them from doing Nightfall strikes. You'd get more of them from doing higher difficulties of Nightfall strikes, but you can only go so far when you're playing solo. When you're matchmaking, they cut it off at what it's called Legend rank, which is the 3rd rank, and then you can go up to Master, and then there's a Grandmaster above that. And all of those,
they give you a seat, but they don't give you the rank of Master.
Yeah, basically.
No.
So they give you those options, but you have to be playing with a fire team. You have to have something preset already. No matchmaking for that. And those weapons can drop from the second level. It's the hero level, but they're pretty rare. Or the game says they're uncommon. That is bullshit. They are rare. Exceedingly rare, it seems.
Sure.
So I don't know if the drop rates were different last season to this season, but I ended up with a palindrome. I ended up with a couple shadow prices. I don't think I even went for the swarm, so I didn't get that. But this season, they said, "Hey, we're bringing back we're bringing back old weapons from Destiny 1 again. We're bringing back one of your favorite fusion rifles, Plug 1." And I went, I don't remember Plug 1, but sure, it looks like a Destiny 1 fusion rifle. That's fine. We're bringing back. I forgot what the other one was. I forgot what the third one was. And then we're bringing back Hung Jury. Do either of you remember Hung Jury from Destiny 1?
Wasn't that a sniper?
It's a scout rifle that Dead Orbit specifically would sell. It had a really cool look to it.
Yep.
It black and white, looked really great, and it could roll with a perk called Firefly, which was a Destiny 1 perk that not a lot of weapons, or that no weapons had in Destiny 2. That perk hadn't come over. It was on one specific weapon, an exotic called Ace of Spades, and but they just added that perk in this season. So now guns can have Firefly, and Hung Jury is back. Hung Jury can have Firefly. It can have this specific perk. It feels great. Perfect. Let's go grind for it. So you only get one. Yeah, you don't only get 1 week, but I get this week to grind for it, and then it's on a rotation. So next week it'll be
Fucking
a different
Destiny,
gun that
man.
you can potentially get. Yeah,
Destiny.
I get it.
Back
it's
on
their
their
way
bullshit.
of keeping you. It's their way of keeping you playing the game. Totally makes sense to me. I'm fine with it. What I'm not fine with.
Flushed. He's so worked up.
Always flushed, but that's beside the point. Here's the real problem. I was grinding. Don't tell my coworkers this, but I was grinding until fucking 5:30 in the morning.
Oh my God.
What?
This morning? Yeah, Johnny. I think I told you before. That's a lie.
Jesus,
I
this
lied.
is
It was 5:30.
Let the man sleep, Luke. Luke Smith, let him sleep.
I was grinding a long time.
Shit.
Luke owes you at least 2 steak dinners.
I'll tell you how bad it was. I started playing around 5. God, I played too many fucking video games. I started playing around 5 p.m. yesterday.
Oh.
And
no.
Around 9 p.m. I went, or it was probably later. It was probably like 10. I was like, fuck this. I've done this strike so many times because it's the Nightfall strike. It's one strike. So I'm not even going through random content or new content or different content. I'm just going through the same strike again and again and again.
God
and just getting totally unlucky with this drop. It's just not dropping. And I go, what is it going to take? And I got so frustrated. I said, you know what? Fuck it. It's Iron Banner week this week as well. So I'll just go and do Crucible Iron Banner shit instead, because at least I can guarantee getting those weapons through a quest that they do. So I did that entire quest to just cool off from the strike grind. And once I had done that entire quest for a couple hours, then I went, you know what? I've done all this. Let's try doing the strikes again.
God.
And I just kept grinding and didn't get one that entire time.
Well,
so that sucked. And then today sucked because I was sleep deprived. And then work ended today at 5:30.
And you took a power nap, right?
And I loaded up Destiny. And I was grinding until
maybe
about
we shouldn't play
8
Friday
o'clock.
night.
No, we should. I got one.
Okay.
I got one.
Well, Chase, it sounds like more or less you're playing Destiny. We'll be playing that together Friday night. I'm excited to spend time with you both. I'm not excited to grind for guns.
I feel like we're enablers, Bobby.
You don't have to grind for this gun. We're going to grind for it once because we'll get a much better chance to drop if we go on this higher difficulty, because we'll all be there. The point is, sorry, I feel like it kind of got buried there. I got one tonight.
Okay.
I got a Hung Jury after a bunch more strikes tonight. It's not a great roll.
Well,
so I might have to
keep
going for it, kinda. But I can say that at least in terms of the way it feels great. It feels like Hung Jerk, and I'm like, oh shit, this is great. It just has bad perks on it. If it had the perks that I wanted on it, this would be amazing. It's not just some crap gun, which makes it even worse. If it was crap, I could go, well, then I'm not wasting my time on it anymore. But I think...
This makes me sad.
Yeah.
I know. It makes me sad, too.
Well,
I think I'm probably grinding more.
Let's save Chase some pain and stop talking about Destiny until Friday.
Yeah, that probably is a good call.
Let me tell you about something that I have been playing that is not a grind, that is really cool. I finally got around to putting in a significant amount of time for a game called Clap Hands Golf. Have you...
Okay. Is it Clap Hands or Clap Hans?
Hans.
Fine. Well,
no, I think it is Clap Hands.
It's Clap Hands.
But there's no D.
Clap Hands.
Yeah. So
and
it's
there's
Hands,
no S.
Hanz. Clap Hands, which is the name of the studio that you maybe are familiar with for other titles that they've made, such as Hot Shots Golf or Everybody's Golf. This is their Apple Arcade exclusive. And holy shit, this game is fucking awesome.
Download this shit.
You all know that I'm a sucker for golf video games. I enjoy the sport of golf. I'm not very good at it. I'm a great caddy. I'm a lot of fun to take on the course. But I thoroughly enjoy golf games. I always have. This one is definitely more arcade than simulator. It's definitely... It lives some...
But you like both kinds.
I love both kinds.
You're out there like talking about Golf Story, and then on the other side you're talking about Tiger Woods or wherever that series went after that. I forgot, but PGA Tour or whatever the fuck.
So let me pitch what they're doing that I think is really cool with this game. It's a team-based golf game. And you are starting out with 3 characters that you can level up. Each one of them has different attributes that are going to be equipped for certain situations. This game is easy to pick up and put down. Most of the events early in the game, and I think I'm on like course level 5 at this point in time. You start at 1. There are 3-hole events, and you can get coins in these. Sometimes there'll be an event that will allow you to get a different look. So you have like basically different colors for your characters, but then there's costumes as well. And you can unlock those that go into it. It lets you know what the holes are and what the match is going to look like, all the attributes going into it, and you can pick who's going to be the best team to go into it on your own. I have found that their auto-generate team function is actually pretty damn good, and they will just let you hit a button that auto-generates a team, and it assigns those team members to the actual hole count. So like if you have somebody who's better at the long game versus a short game, they might put them on a par 5 versus the par 3. And give you a better shot there.
Do you get to like customize those characters completely? I know you mentioned like costumes and stuff, but can you like name them, design them?
No. So that was the one thing I was hoping for in this, and when I first started it up and I saw I couldn't do it, I was like, I don't know, like this might not be what I thought it was. I went back to it because I was traveling. I was away from, we didn't have the stream on Friday. I was out of town. That was once I got through that. Because they level up based, like it's an auto generation of their leveling, but it's based off of their core stats. The game works really well with touch controls, but I was playing it with that Razer Kishi a little bit on my phone, and I was playing on the iPad quite a bit. I love what they're doing with it. The events are super smart. The courses are really well designed. It is one of the best looking phone games I've played. It is damn near console quality on every facet. I think they've done a great job with it. It has local multiplayer. It does not have online multiplayer. It would be fun to play this with a group of friends. Maybe one day when we all get together, if we still have Apple Arcade subscriptions, we can check that out.
Do you know how that would work? Is it that each person controls a different team, or do we control different legs of that team?
I don't know. I think it's more versus than it is like we're going to go through and have like a skin game with somebody else. But it does scale up quite a bit. So there's boss battles. Each one of these tiers is paywalled behind coins that you earn throughout this. So like the first one's I think like 10 coins unlocks the next section of it, which is an increased difficulty, but there's always a boss battle. And once you defeat that boss, they become a team member that you get.
Mm-hmm.
That's cool.
Yep.
So it's NBA Street.
To a degree, yeah. I think my team's up to 11 or 12 people, and you can choose through them based off of what's going on. There's a lot of great personalities. Everybody's pretty unique so far. It's really, really cool. It's such a surprise for me, at least. I didn't play a ton of everybody's golf. I really enjoyed what I did. I have that game still. I mean, it even has a VR port now, which is strange. But I would love to play more.
We played that online once.
Mm-hmm.
That was a good time.
Yeah, it was really cool. It just lets me know that I still like golf games, and it's got me even more excited for next month when we'll be playing a little bit of Mario Golf as well.
Yeah,
that game looks really cool.
So,
Bobby, not to backseat game design, but hearing you like talk about what Clap Hands does and then like just quite fails to do. Here's what I want: XCOM golf.
Yeah,
you know, I want to customize a team. I want to have like maybe different trees I can go down. Where it's like I'm gonna have a power driver or something here, or like a really accurate driver. And have specific team members and do a kind of turn-based golf game like that. That's what I want.
Yeah.
God, XCOM golf. That'd be rad.
It'd be really cool.
So,
also like actually put it in the XCOM universe. Just have
those
aliens and shit happening as you're going through.
I really like this idea.
Yeah.
Let's make a game.
Johnny, were you going to ask something?
It's just funny, like, I feel like XCOM for strategy games is how people attach Dark Souls to any action game. So you're like, I want the XCOM of this.
Oh, yeah, sure.
It expresses so perfectly what you want in this thing that is completely unrelated to,
strategy game. Yes, I feel like we have those touchstone games now where we're saying a title really just means like a handful of mechanics, and those mechanics can slightly change in context, but you're right. Like Dark Souls is basically just saying I want animation priority, I want a high level of difficulty, I want like some kind of bonfire equivalent where it in both that it resets the world and also is a place that you can level things up. I feel like those are like the big Dark Souls things that I would hear, and yeah, XCOM in this way is like turn-based, is customizable units, is like a permadeath kind of feature, like having to Iron Man it.
Imagine if your golfer permadeath.
It'd be great.
That'd be good.
Like
you didn't make it. Sorry, you had to get it in under 5, and you didn't. So
like maybe they just get tired and they have to go to the clubhouse.
Is this a John Daly simulator?
Yeah. What if it's a John Daly simulator? It's just how drunk they get. If they get too drunk, they have to be carried back to the clubhouse. That's your permadeath mechanic.
Oh my God.
There it is.
Man,
we've solved it. God, get game dev story loaded up.
No
let's
kidding.
make this.
Johnny, I know that you still have Apple Arcade. Chase, I think that you still have some of that going. It's worth checking out.
I left it on, yeah.
It's worth checking. It's really cool. It's really cool. Check it out. Let me know what you think. That game was a bit of a surprise, but let me tell you what was not a surprise. How fucking good Subnautica Below Zero is. So Subnautica Below Zero came out of early access on the 14th. Johnny had been playing it a little bit in its early access. Have you played it since 1.0 came out?
I have not, no.
Okay.
I'm sitting at about 4 or 5 hours total. And
Bobby, let me ask you a question that might direct the way you talk about this. Is this new Subnautica, or is this more Subnautica?
It's a little bit of both. So,
okay.
Going off, let's start with the more Subnautica. You are still going to be... I think this game is one of the absolute best at onboarding you into what it does. And that was what Subnautica started, and it starts you off very similar. You crash land onto the same planet, but a different part of it, I believe a year later from one of the events of the first game.
I believe so, yes.
And they've added a new mechanic into this one. If you didn't have enough spinning plates, there's now, whenever you go outside of the water, which took a bit in the first game to get to that point, This one, you are able to get out of the water pretty quickly, but you are in a polar ice cap. So you now have to deal with temperature whenever you are outside of that. They do let you craft a cold suit that will help you with this, and then it becomes a non-issue. Similar in the first game, when you are crash landing, you are in a radiated filled portion of the water, and so you have to craft a radiation suit that will help you go out towards it. And they do a really nice job of teaching you like what is dangerous, what you need to do to like sustain these levels in your character. But from more of the same, I think that this is still one of the absolute best looking games. I think that this has some of the best sound design carried over from it. Bonus for this one, Ben Prunty is the one who does the soundtrack for it, and it's fucking great. He nailed it. The atmospheric stuff that happens in this game with the sound is perfect. Really enjoy that. But this one does change some things for the better, and it's really strange because I had played these so close together where I think a lot of people maybe had some time between them, because I think the first one was 2017, 2018.
Yeah, it was a while ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I went to craft, so I was like, okay, I have the same items I can craft, and I went to do it, but now some of the materials are reversed on this. Like, you need to have a different combination of materials or a different resource altogether to make this material or to make this item. So that was a strange thing that happened with it. But I still have not played a game that makes me feel as equally at peace and equally in terror as what Subnautica does. And this game is a much smaller slice. So I told you all when I talked about Subnautica month ago or whatever that I wanted to play the first one, and I decided that it would be better to know kind of what was going on with it and learn before just hopping into the second one. But I think the second one might be a bit more appealing. It adds voice acting into it. It brings all these things, especially in the late game of Subnautica, like it goes deep, no pun intended.
You intended that pun.
I did intend it. You busted me.
Don't lie. But the first game was, like, you had a silent protagonist, right? Yes.
There was some voice logs you could listen to, but there's already some really fucking crazy story stuff happening in this. So your sister has died, and the company that you both work for...
Spoiler.
Is basically saying this was negligence on her behalf. You go in, and you're like, bullshit, and you start to see kind of what was going on there. There's something that I don't want to spoil a whole lot, because I think that this is the game about discovery, and it's at its best when you really experience this stuff. But there's two major vehicles from the first game. One was you had, I think it's called the Sea Glide, which is a device you hold that allows you to swim faster. Then you can actually build it looks like a UFO sort of, but it's a miniature submarine. Then later on, you can just build a fucking full-on submarine, like a 40-foot submarine that you can get a prawn suit in and do like a mech suit like in this game.
Sea lab.
Which is really cool. This one, you have something called a sea truck that you build. And
hell yeah.
The sea truck is fucking awesome because you can build these modular components for it. And last night I built the bed.
You know how excited he is.
Did you put 38s on your sea truck?
I did not put 38s. Here's what I did though. This is so fucking cool. I built the bed cabin for the sea truck. Inside of my bed cabin is a goddamn jukebox. And so you can start to play these great songs, but here's the best part. It's fucking blaring in the ocean. And so when you get out of your sea truck, it has proximity sound, so you're swimming around and you can just hear like the music blaring in the ocean as you're like going and collecting shit.
Does it add underwater? Like,
yes.
Does it sound like
it sounds like it's underwater? Yes. It's so fucking cool. So I just cranked up my stereo. There was a part that I was pretty scared of, and I'm like, you know what? I got my sea truck. I got my bed. I fucking cranked the music and just went out into the unknown, and it was such an awesome moment. Like, such an awesome moment in this game. This game fucking rules. It is more of Subnautica, but they're introducing some things that happen on land, and you've got this like little snow bike now. There's some really cool shit. Yeah, check this game out. It deserves all the love it's getting. It's so good.
Is the
really
music
cool game?
Is the music from your jukebox? Is that stuff that's in the game, or can you make it anything?
It's stuff from the game.
That's too bad.
There might be a mod.
If you could just have like a
playing.
I was thinking Rock the Boat.
Oh my gosh. I remember playing Metal Gear Solid, and in my helicopter when it would come in had Take On Me.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And
Take On Me and fucking Maneater.
Yeah, both very good.
Every day I think about going back and playing more Metal Gear Solid.
So good. So I read something today because the studio did an AMA on Reddit today, and I was reading the comments in there, and someone nailed like the feeling that I got when I play this game, and I've never played a game that makes you feel so desperately alone.
Ooh, yeah.
Because there's a natural loneliness to being like you are in a as alien of an environment. Like it is an alien planet, true, but like the ocean itself is alien to us. We don't belong there, and so having a whole game where you're just trying to make it underwater for the most part, it's a special kind of stress.
You know what's weird about that? I never thought about it that way, but when I was playing the first game, there was times that I was pretty like desperate in those situations that I would just go back into my menu and I would start to play old audio logs of other people talking. And I would listen to those as I was like doing things that were pretty uncomfortable in the game.
Like if you were to die down there, like who would know? No one would ever find you.
I did find a pretty cool thing with it. I don't know if this was in the first game. I never did it there, but if you keep a beacon on your character, when you die, the beacon is where your body was. So it makes it easy to get back to where you were if you want to collect your things.
Yeah, I did it because I definitely got murdered by something that looked like a mermaid, but definitely wasn't.
Bobby, I feel like I remember asking you on the first game how difficult it was, and I think you mentioned something about that you didn't die very much at all playing that first game. Is it similar here, or have they upped the difficulty at all?
So I have died. This one is, I think, more hostile. Absolutely more hostile. When I stopped playing the first game, and I'm playing this really close to this one, I was maxed out. I could do everything. I had the biggest tanks, and so I could swim around without my cars and vehicles for great lengths and be in a good spot. I've forgotten that, and so I'll be so focused, like, oh shit, there's that item that like I think I can just get down to it. Like I didn't have a rebreather on, I didn't have the bigger tanks and that sort of stuff, and I end up running out of oxygen. Like it's completely on my own dumbass part. But there are some things in this game that are a lot more vicious and seems to be a bit more out to get you. Not in a bad way, but just there would be stretches of the first game where it would just be like, this is really pretty. It's like a 4K video you see on TVs at Best Buy. One thing I told Johnny, and I'll wrap up here because I've been talking for a long time. Playing the first game has given me, like, I don't want to say like this air of confidence, but I know how things interact a lot more now that I'm playing the second game. So I built my first base in an area that I thought was more central, and I didn't think about resources for end-game stuff when I built my first base in Subnautica. There's literally a Leviathan creature, which is one of the bigger fucking things that can kill you in almost one hit. That is basically my backyard pet now. Because I know how to navigate around it. And there's an area in Subnautica Below Zero where there's all these thermal vents that I can put a bioreactor, not a bioreactor, but a thermal reactor over and get unlimited power from my base. And I have to worry about solar or any of those things. So I went to a spot that I knew long-term would benefit me greater than what like an early thing would be. There are quite a bit of creatures there, but like I'll be cruising back in with my sea truck blaring music and the Leviathan just come and grab me and like bite me. And it takes like, 30% of my vehicle health away, but I just park it, repair it, go inside, and be like, yeah, fuck you, see you later, bud. And
you're just blaring Magic Carpet.
Just fucking Steppenwolf cruising through the ocean. I love this game. I can't get enough of it, and I am so excited to have fallen into Subnautica and it being the same year that the sequel comes out, which is great.
I know we talked.
Oh my god.
This is a cursed fucking podcast,
my god. Gross.
Bobby, I feel like you talked about this.
Sorry, I really went off the deep end.
had to turn the air on with all these hot drops you're giving me, Johnny. It's getting a little steamy in here.
Are you done?
Yeah. What were you saying, Chase, before you were blessed with Johnny?
I was going to ask about No Man's Sky. Did we talk about you maybe going back to that? It sounds like they have DNA kind of crossing over these kinds of games.
They're adding DLSS in that game.
Mm-hmm.
They just keep adding shit to No Man's Sky. And it's like, should I go back and play No Man's Sky?
Well, they got multiplayer now, and I think they got crossplay. So that could be something fun. Like this, to Johnny's point, like it would be neat to play something like that level with friends. I would like to go back and check that game out. I put quite a bit of time into it in its first few weeks when it was...
Remember when they told you, like, oh, yeah, it has multiplayer, but yeah, you're never going to see another person. Way. And then, like, the first day, somebody's like, yeah, that's where...
That's where he was.
Like, we're on the same planet. I can see what they did. Man, maybe I should go back and play more of that.
Yeah,
cool game.
That'd be cool.
I usually revisit it every year after they add whatever update, and it's always a good time.
So
Subnautica and Subnautica Below Zero both came to Switch this month, but those games are also out now on pretty much everything, right?
They're on everything. Subnautica was on the PlayStation Stay Inside and Play, whatever that campaign was.
That's right.
And if you pick that up there, the first one, it just got an upgrade for PS5, I think, for performance modes, which that game is beautiful and would look really cool for anybody on PlayStation. So if you pick that up for free, it did get a free patch for that. And then it's on Game Pass for Xbox and Game Pass PC as well.
Cool.
And Cloud. Game Pass Cloud. So, Johnny, I want to talk to you about Mass Effect.
Yes, we should definitely do that.
And I finally got to play it last night.
You did. You made me thankful that I decided not to save $7 and just bought a Steam copy.
Yep.
Because it sounds like the Origin version of the game, which you think, being an EA property, would...
I wouldn't think that.
I mean...
I'm still pretty...
I wouldn't think that.
I'm still pretty bitter. I don't want to discredit what's going on. Let me just throw this out there. Give me 2 minutes to give my little soapbox here. I bought a key for this game off of CD Keys, which is a great site. Saved $7. Fired it up. Things were great. Everything downloaded. Was using my Xbox Elite controller. And I went to launch, because when you open the game, there's 3 menus to choose which version of Mass Effect you're going to play. Got into it. My controller's not responding at all. My mouse and keyboard, fine. But my controller is not responding and playing the game. I'm like, oh, that's weird. So I went and made sure everything was good. Found some online forum on the Questions HQ that was on EA's website, and somebody's like, there's 7 or 8 pages at this point in time of people with the same issue, and then somebody's like, hey, here's a fix for it. You have to go into your HID controller setting and just disable it. So I'm like, all right. So I go.
What happened when you did that, Bobby?
My computer fucking shit the bed with greasy Taco Bell shit. It was awful. Fucking blue screened my computer. I had to figure out how to get back into... I was literally making recovery drives.
I made you a recovery USB.
Yeah.
You texted me. You're like, my shit is fucked. And I was like, oh, okay.
It was so bad. And then I found another page on the same thread of people like, hey, by the way, don't use that dude's device. It fucks your computer up. And I'm like, well, god damn it. That's what I get for not reading ahead. But I got everything working on my computer. Everything's fine. I went back and enabled that. Finally was able to boot in my computer. I tried reaching out to varying degrees of EA's help support, and that went over about as well as Andromeda. And I am going to play this game on mouse and keyboard.
All they said is, hey, Bobby, you got this.
No, they literally said, I'm playing with the mouse and keyboard. You know that you can interact with things by pressing the space bar?
Hey, Bobby, what if you weren't such a scrub? What if you played like a real PC?
Maybe read the room a little bit first.
Yeah.
So anyway, I'm playing the game now. I'm at the Citadel, Johnny. How are you enjoying your time with Mass Effect Legendary Edition?
Oh, it's so good.
So are you guys starting from the start again? Do they force you to do that, or can you start at anyone?
If you want to play Mass Effect 2 or 3, you can do that.
Yep.
Okay.
But
one got the most work to it, though.
It did.
Right?
It changes to combat, so it's using thermal clips like you are on 2 and 3.
No.
You don't like thermal clips?
No, I like having unlimited ammunition.
Yeah, that's
right. No, I'm sorry. It's
yeah.
Scratch that. It's the weapon gets hot and has to cool down.
Yeah.
So it's
okay, so they didn't change it.
No, they did not change it.
They changed the shooting. So
this feels more like 2 and 3 when you shoot.
Yeah. So
versus what it did in 1.
The reticle, like the bloom, isn't taking up 2/3 of the screen. Okay. If you're like, I'm playing as full biotic adept, so but I can use a sniper rifle or an assault rifle, no problem.
I'm doing Vanguard.
Okay. That's not. Is that how?
That's
not how the original game worked.
You could not use those guns.
Yeah,
you
were locked in
the first game.
Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, I have I pick up these weapons and they're actually useful to me now. Can
you turn all that off? Can I just have like an authentic Mass Effect 1 experience?
The only thing you can turn back on from that, Mako controls, and then the
Mako controls!
Dude, fuck the Mako.
The leveling in this, you know how you should be able to go to level 60 in the first game?
Yeah, I'm leveling like crazy right now.
Yeah, I remember that.
Well, did you turn it back to the original one?
No.
Well, this one it's level 30 now. Is the cap.
I know. And I'm enjoying how overpowered I am at this point in the game.
Sure, yeah. Yeah, those are the big differences there that you can turn off.
Yeah. But otherwise, like improved textures,
looks really good.
Things like that. It looks great. I mean, it still looks like a remastered video game, not a completely retooled one.
Yeah. You're not getting brand new textures, they're just up-res textures.
You know,
right? That's kind of what we're going
for. But they've added
lighting effects.
Yeah, they added some lighting effects in other areas. They
did change the one dude to Turian.
The one dude?
I can't remember. It was the guy that was... God, what was his name?
Saren.
No, it was the human that was basically trying to rally the planets to go against the humans.
Conrad Verner.
And they made him a Turian, which makes a lot more sense.
Conrad. So this game, I've played Mass Effect 1 probably 8 years ago, maybe longer.
It was 2007 when it first came out.
It came out. I played it for the first time in 2009.
Okay.
6 months before 2 came out. And then I played those games a whole bunch. Like I probably played through those first 2 games more than any other franchise, just because I love that story so much. I love that universe so much. I think the Mass Effect universe is probably my second favorite sci-fi universe next to Star Wars.
Mm-hmm.
It's so well done. I love listening to the codex entries, and I decided to go a little different this time. I've never done a full Renegade playthrough, and I've also never done a FemShep playthrough. So I'm Lady Shepard. She is going full Renegade Shepard. And I also made a custom character for the first time. I always used the stock ones because I thought the custom ones just looked pretty bad. But I like the way she looks. I gave her purple hair, and she's a fucking hard ass, man.
They're still not great.
I mean, they're better than they were.
They're better than they were, which I would hope so. But they're also it's not a good character creator.
There's two things I've noticed.
Not by modern standards.
In playing it. Again, I just got done with the big trial at the Citadel. That's where I'm at in the game.
Oh man, my blood gets so fired up during that part.
So there's 2 things that kind of stick out to me now playing this game years later. One is I miss the days when I would have a game to play sometimes, and this was my game to play. And we talk a lot about the podcast curse here on the show. Not that we have to do this, but we kind of do, and we play a lot of games here at the Casual Hour. And immediately knowing that we've got the games we're playing right now, this Friday Biomutant comes out, which I'm super stoked to play. I'm playing through Subnautica. There's a lot of things next week, sorry. But you know what I'm saying. So that's the thing that's different, where I remember the first time playing it, this was the only thing that existed for me for some time. Yeah, the other piece is, remastering games is weird. I've been up and down on those things. The Citadel, it feels fucking empty. I don't remember it feeling that empty. I was pretty in awe when I first got there, and it still was really cool and really well designed.
I was still had some big feelings going through the Citadel, and obviously they didn't have the tech to make it feel like a living, breathing city, but I also think it's in a part of the Citadel that probably isn't jam-packed full of people because it's all like governmental and stuff like that. So,
but also the first game is the most well-realized Citadel as well, because in the next two games they are giving you very specific pieces of Citadel.
Right.
And you can walk around, but you can walk around 2 rooms. Yeah. That's the Citadel. It's like, bullshit, the Citadel's huge. It's got the ward. There's all the Presidium. It's got all these places, because I ran around that place and it was too big. It was too big in Mass Effect 1, and I think that leads to what Bobby's saying, where it feels empty.
Yeah.
But those other games are they scaled it way too far down, where I just didn't feel any sense of scale out of the Citadel, which is supposed to be this huge fucking place that is just the nexus where every race is there.
Yeah. But it's still really cool. Just empty.
It is, man. Being back on the Normandy and going down, to the below deck, talking to Garrus, talking to Rex, talking to Ashley too, I guess, and then going into
for now.
Yeah.
We'll take it.
We'll see.
I'm gonna let Ashley live.
How stupid was hey, here's all these people in these gear, these suits, and here comes fucking Ashley power sliding her hot pink fucking combat suit.
Here's my problem with Mass Effect 1. It's who do you want to save? The girl who is just an absolute racist asshole.
Yeah.
Or Karth fucking Onassi. Can I choose neither? Can they both die? I'm good. I'm all right.
Just world. So I'm remembering why I have such a hard time sticking to the Renegade path, because I get immense guilt anytime I do something that
he's over there kicking keepers. You piece of shit.
No, so
that is something that BioWare has said in the past, right? It's we do all this work to make cool, interesting Renegade options, and then nobody picks them because everybody wants to be the nice hero. Everybody feels like that's what they want to be, at least on a first playthrough.
Yeah. I accidentally got Paragon points last night, even though I was choosing an Intimidate option. I was on Asteroid X-57. I don't know if you guys remember this mission or not, with the miners.
Yeah.
It's an asteroid that has rockets that are propelling it to this planet. Yeah. And you have a choice. It's hey, you can either kill this terrorist, but these people will die because he's going to blow them up, or you let him go and you save the people. Well, I wasn't going to let the terrorist leave. So
there you go.
That nice lady that I've been talking to on the radio the whole time I've been here got turned into
smushed.
A crispy corpse.
How far are you going to go with this, Johnny? Are you in it all the way?
Yeah. I don't know how
to see content that you haven't seen before. That's what you have to do. Mm-hmm. There's no, because that is my problem with Mass Effect. And I like Mass Effect. I like the Mass Effect trilogy for sure. But one of the problems that I have with it, and I have it with a lot of BioWare games, is there are 2 paths. It is good path or it is bad path. There is no real benefit to trying to play something anywhere in the middle. If you are not playing one of those 2 extremes, you are getting a lesser experience out of the deal. Which is one of the reasons I really like KOTOR 2, because I think, and that game is not a BioWare game, that's an Obsidian game that uses BioWare's tech, but that game specifically had reasons. It had a whole character built around being in the middle and playing it that way and making more ambiguous choices that I think leads to something like The Witcher and The Witcher 3 specifically that people raise of it's not a question of doing the right thing or the wrong thing. It's trying to find that morally gray thing that you feel the best about, that you feel okay with. That you sacrifice something and understand and feel that pain of having to make that sacrifice. And I just don't think those options are anywhere in the Mass Effect series at all, and that's okay. I mean, it's fine to not have that, but I think it makes them less interesting games. Like the big things you get are, do you cure the genophage or do you not?
Right.
It's like, well, they, as much as they try to pile on the reasons why you shouldn't let the Krogan live, it's still advocating for genocide or not. And like, come on, guys! Like, what are you like? It's not. You're not weighing things here. That's ridiculous.
Yeah, I haven't seen most of that stuff, and I also haven't seen a full performance from Jennifer Hale, who does a fantastic job.
She does great
with Fim Shep. So, I'm.
Are you ready to kill Rex though? Like, you know it's going to happen.
No, you can intimidate him into not, being killed.
Okay. Well,
I looked it up.
Taking the coward's way out, but
is it?
Yeah,
it's not. I'm using the renegade path. To
if you're going to be renegade, you gotta renegade.
No, because if your intimidate skill is high enough, you can.
I know.
Rate him.
Of course.
Sustain.
Because they
kill
learn
Rex. Are you insane?
They learn. You should. It would be a different thing. And that's one of the bummers about Mass Effect 2 is that if you did kill Rex, they're just like, well, here's a different Krogan that Rex would have been if he was still alive. It's Rex, right? It is basically Rex. Is it 2 or 3 that does that? I can't remember which one. How do you go back to
you go there with Grunt.
That's right.
Yeah, I will choose the red path at the end of 3 whenever I get to that point. Yeah, I'm pretty committed to doing this different because I have seen the Paragon path so many times in all these other games. The only one of these games that I've played through once is Mass Effect 3. Every other one I've played through at least between probably 3 and 5 times. So
I like 3. I know people.
I like 3 a lot.
Don't. I think 3 has a lot of good stuff going for it.
Okay, so I was in Cupertino for my Genius training for Apple, and I brought my Xbox with me because Mass Effect 3 had just come out, and so I beat Mass Effect, had that ending how I felt, and at the same time I was also I read The Red Wedding and Song of Ice and Fire, and it was just getting.
So what you're saying was you were a fucking geek.
Yes. Anyway. That's Mass Effect Legendary Edition. If you like those games, even if you've never experienced them before, I think that there's still something there for people to enjoy.
From a technical standpoint, how do they feel though?
I know you tell Chase about that. I'm gonna get a refill. I'll be right back. You guys keep going.
Okay.
No dedication to the podcast.
Yeah, I know it's pathetic. So technically, 1 feels older for sure. Like the combat and like
I mean more like from a how it runs standpoint. Like I'm not buying this. I haven't bought this day one. I am almost assuredly going to get this eventually, and probably for PlayStation. It's not coming to Switch, right? Not on Switch. Okay, so I'll probably get this on PlayStation. So I'm not worried about blue screening my machine like Bobby over there.
Yeah.
What moron.
It's been running fine for me. Like I'm running it 4K, 60 frames a second. Which I would be amazed if it wasn't running that way on the video card and stuff I have on my computer, and considering the age of the games. So no like dips in frame rate. Like I was amazed to hear the trouble that Bobby was having because it's ran perfectly fine for me.
How about load times? Like when you get in those elevators and get those,
you can. So the only reason I haven't skipped the elevator ride is because I'm still getting the banter,
dialogue and stuff,
or like the radio news updates.
But they do let you skip now.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Press A to skip.
That's impressive.
X, I guess, on PlayStation.
Cross, please.
Cross. Sorry.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, that's it's been insane because I just remember like being able to like check Twitter or whatever while I was waiting for those elevator load times. Yeah. The first time I played through those games, so that's definitely way better. Yeah, and It's great, man. It's so awesome to have all these games in one package with all the DLC, except for like one thing from the first game. All the promotional items that came from different pre-order bonuses from different retailers.
You can get your Dragon Age armor.
Get your Dragon Age armor. Get that black hole gun in 2 that I liked a whole lot.
I was really curious about how they're going to do the readiness, the Galactic Readiness in 3. Because I remember playing the mobile app and playing multiplayer for that.
Yeah, I mean, they've ripped all that stuff out. Like, it's all
obviously
based on in-game stuff. So yeah, I don't know.
I really like that multiplayer. Like,
There's been some talk that they might bring it back.
But
it's good. I mean, this has to be selling gangbusters for them. I would imagine.
Yeah, it's the easiest win they could have possibly had.
BioWare needed a win.
This is
They really did.
the wipe the slate clean, get people back invested in this storyline, because I think that we all feel that there's going to be something with this storyline again in the next Mass Effect game.
I mean, they're making.
They've said they've said that. They've shown an Asari head that looks very much like Liara.
And a Reaper body.
Yeah. Oh, Liara, best girl.
No.
Who was your best girl?
Liara, all the way.
No,
every time.
I'm going to do Liara this playthrough, but it was Tali for me.
Yeah, I'm a Tali man. Like,
Tali was my girl in 2.
Despite being a racist, who's like trying to kill like all the what are they called? Quarians. All the Quarians are trying to kill all the Geth, which they made kind of fucked up, their own sort of genocide. But like Tali was cool. I like Tali.
Was cool. They actually updated her face too.
I heard that.
Yeah.
What does that mean?
So the picture from the first game, or the first time this game came out, they literally went and got a stock image, and they put like a hijab over the stock image, and that was it. This one, she appears to be more alien in nature. It's a bit more high res, obviously, as well. So they did change that here.
Okay.
Way.
I just remember maybe seeing like faint lights in the helmet, like that's where her eyes were.
Chat's saying that Ashley is better than Caden.
I mean, they're both awful. What do you?
Yeah.
Like, again, like if I could kick them both off my team, I would do so happily.
Johnny,
they're both bad.
Yeah.
Outside of saving the galaxy, what have you been doing?
I made it to the 3rd biome in Returnal.
Okay.
That game. I love that game a whole lot. Now that I got past
the first
major
boss.
hump. Yeah. I beat the second boss in like my 3rd try, I think.
Okay.
And I love that game. I love what everything is doing. It's really good. I will be talking about that for sure at the end of the year.
Very cool.
And that wraps it up for me, which I guess takes us on to the news.
Is it time for the casual report?
It is. Let's see, I've got my tiny microphone somewhere. Here it is. Okay. Guys, do you remember Assassin's Creed 4?
Yeah.
No.
Black Flag.
So Black Flag, that came out in 2013. And then I believe
it simultaneously launched on 2 generations of console.
It did.
Yep.
Or no.
No, sorry.
It was
Rogue. Same engine.
So anyway,
61.
Yeah.
So that team who designed the naval combat, you may remember, announced a game the following year or the year after that, 2014, 2015. It's kind of fuzzy in my memory. Anyway, Skull and Bones.
It was called King of Seas.
Yes.
Out this.
Skull and Bones is delayed again.
What the fuck, man?
Is that even a real video game?
It's, they showed it off, a while ago. Oh, no, 2017. Okay, so it's not as long ago as I thought.
Still pretty long.
But Skull and Bones will now be released in 2022-2023.
No way. I mean, I think that... See,
they gotta have something there, maybe, right?
And I know that there's not trying to be, but Sea of Thieves, even though like that game I don't play, it's like No Man's Sky. It's only gotten better.
It's very popular as well.
Do you think the people behind Skull and Bones look at that, even though they have a tonally very different game, mechanically very different game that they're working on, especially if it's in any way based on the Black Flag ship combat stuff that people liked, which I'd have to imagine that it's at least based in that reality.
Yeah, I mean, it's the same team.
Yeah, like do you think they look at Sea of Thieves or look at new things that came out with a game like that and go, well, I guess we got to respond to that with our game. Let's scrap something we have and let's go back to the drawing board. Like it is.
Maybe.
Like I would think if Ubisoft didn't believe in this project as a whole, it would have been canceled long ago. So who knows?
I don't know, man. I feel like I could rattle off a couple of Ubisoft games that are continuing to stay in development hell. Will we ever see them or not?
Yeah, I mean,
like Beyond Good and Evil is like the other obvious one.
Well, they lost somebody over that, right? Recently.
Yeah, people.
I mean, even with that, when they announced that, like, I don't think it was in development yet, really, right? Like, it was.
It was just a.
They made that cinematic trailer.
Yeah, fuck, man, I don't remember. I know they had
been like 2 or 3 years ago.
I thought it was a couple of years ago where they showed off, like actual gameplay and some stuff. And yeah, like they showed off some gameplay stuff, and then I think that was also the one where they said, by the way, you can user-generated content add stuff to the or not even user-generated content. It was like we want you to like send us art that we'll use in the game. It's and then people
no thank you.
Right, because they went with Joseph Gordon-Levitt's company, right? Which just sounds like some like crowdsourcing. Do you guys remember that at all? Was that was an E3, wasn't it?
Are you talking about like his hit Record Joe stuff that he did?
I think so. It's like some company he had that was all about bringing in user-generated content that probably also didn't pay the creators all that well.
Yeah, Elijah Wood was involved with that.
Was he really? I guess I could believe that. I just remember it was Joseph Gordon-Levitt's company. Anyway.
Oh no, it was JGL. Yep. Yeah. Sorry. Yeah. Oh yeah, man, that was weird. Yeah, so we'll see if this game ever sees the light of day.
Either of them.
Narrator.
So
they didn't.
They didn't. So people might remember, Bobby and I have talked about this ad nauseum, Chase 2. So Microsoft acquired Bethesda, and I was never fully convinced, but I thought there may be a reality in which Microsoft still put out some of these Bethesda games on other platforms. That seems less likely to happen, or completely unlikely to happen, because according to one Jeff Grubb, Starfield is an Xbox/PC exclusive, which isn't exactly surprising news. I think just looking at Microsoft's, like, you know, Minecraft is still in other things, but Minecraft is like a platform unto itself, so that's not really surprising that, you know, they continue to put it out on everything.
Yeah.
So not like it's still big news, I think, but people shouldn't really be surprised.
And like, let's be clear, it's not. This has not been confirmed. This is friend of the show, Jeff Grubb.
Yes,
like, literal friend of the show, not just the makeup friend of the show that we say for everybody else. Like he's reporting it. He is generally an extremely reliable source of information, but he is also getting his info from sources who, you know, this has not been announced publicly.
I will just double down once again and just say that studio did not spend the war chest of money they did to put shit out on PlayStation when Microsoft has yet to put out a fucking game since November for their flagship hardware. Like this, it's just not there. And the Game Pass is, I did not think of it to this degree, which shame on me, but it makes complete sense that they're saying any device that can have Game Pass will have these games. And if that's not putting the fucking ball in somebody else, hey, you can't be mad at us. We told Sony they could have it if they put Game Pass on PlayStation. All they got to do is put Game Pass on PlayStation, and you can have these games there.
Yeah, we'll let them dip their beak.
Yeah.
You know.
So, in the context of our podcast, neither of you two care about this story because you both have PCs. You're already fine anyway. You can play the next big Bethesda release, and you have Game Pass. You have all the things you need.
Yeah.
I don't care because I hate Bethesda. and have only grown stronger in that feeling over time. So
do you think
even
that
though
Microsoft
I don't
can
have
make them better?
No, I think Microsoft will continue to give them the autonomy to hang themselves with the rope that they're given, which they will do. I think Starfield's going to be a fucking mess when it comes out. Like, we know that, right? Because it's a Bethesda game. Like, it'll be fun. People will like it. It'll be a hugely selling game. It will be broken as fuck like every other Bethesda game. How could it not be?
It is known.
It is the way. It is the Bethesda way.
So yeah, the one thing that we didn't talk about, Johnny, with this, I've seen two pretty wild rumors, and I think it's later. Again, friend of the show, Grubb, has said that it's 2022 now, but there's a lot of speculation that you will see some pretty intense footage of this come E3, and that there was a possibility for
I hope so, man.
For all fall release.
Yeah, is a 30-second title screen. That's all we know about this game. But Chase, yeah, Bobby and I were talking, off pod, and we're wondering about the engine, and it's been heavily upgraded. They have more people working on the engine than they ever had.
There's a lot more hamsters on that wheel now.
So, to me, just says, okay, so they're just strapping more plywood and duct tape onto this busted fucking engine that they've been using since Morrowind.
Like, that has been their MO for everything. Throw money and people at the problem, and maybe it will go away, but it won't go away because you keep adding more complexity to the problem.
I'm convinced that the real-life engine of Bethesda is just like a 93 Camry that has like two 15-inch subs in the trunk that's just rattling apart. It's just fucking rattling.
It's just playing
Sandstorm on repeat.
Yeah, so I'm sure that will be confirmed next month whenever they show up.
Have they even said what the fuck Starfield is?
It's a space Fallout.
It's Fallout in space.
But like, what is that?
The short answer to your question is no, Chase.
No, I mean, what's interesting Fallout in space is the Obsidian game. It's
Outer Worlds.
Yes.
Yeah, I thought that I asked Johnny this. I don't know if this will ever be the case. Not that they have to be directly correlated, but maybe in some weird fucking thing when the Fallout series was taking place on Earth, humans took to the sky, and this is somewhere way down the line of like that's how this ended up.
I don't think this is going to have any connection to any other property.
Just even how the font looked on the thing tells me that it's probably its own and I think they said it's a brand new IP from Bethesda. So, Star Garfield. So yeah, that's that. Hopefully we see what that game actually is next month. Speaking of seeing what games will be, you guys remember when they announced Overwatch 2 and how, hey guys, don't worry, it's actually it's not really that different, and
they lied.
It's a new game, but it's an expansion pack, but it's a new game, but it's an expansion pack.
Yeah, so they're having a stream tomorrow to actually show off some Overwatch 2. So we'll get our first...
Or yesterday, if you're listening to the recording of the podcast.
Or yesterday, yeah. So May 20th is the day they're going to be doing that. And I'm intrigued. I would like to see...
Or today, if you're Matt Jaguar, because you're on the East Coast and it's already tomorrow.
There you go.
Fair.
So yeah, I'll be checking that out. I played a lot of Overwatch for a couple of years there. Haven't really been in the scene. There's a ton of new characters.
Do you know that 365 days are in a year?
Yeah.
Except for one every 4 years.
I guess you and I just have a very different understanding of playing things for years. That's strange because I've been playing Destiny for years. I can say that and not lie. But Overwatch,
I can say I've been playing Destiny for years, and when I say years, I mean the literal amount of time of years. I can go look at the...
No, dude. First 2 years this game is out, I played a lot of it.
Okay.
What was the last new character you remember playing as?
Oh gosh, it was the lady with the Uzi. What was her name?
Sombra.
Sombra. That sounds like it
the hacker lady.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, she was the second new character. The first one was. I don't know why I know this. I don't really care about Overwatch.
Yeah.
The first one was
Anna,
the healer sniper. I remember that. And then I think it was Sombra. And then it was like the robot centaur lady. And then
the person.
No, he came later. Then it was like
him, so I played more recently than I thought.
Then it was Doomfist. I think it was Doomfist after that.
Yeah.
Then it was
Hamster.
Hamster.
Doomfist.
Then I have no idea.
Okay, so it hasn't been that long since I played this game, because I've played with a lot of those characters. Anyway, excited to see what that is. Jeff Keighley, friend of the show.
Another Jeff. We got him in space.
Spells it a little different.
He announced that his Summer Games Fest kicks off on June 10th. And last year... he got some pretty cool stuff last year, right?
I think that's when we first saw the DualSense controller.
Yes, when we got our first glimpse of that. Yep. So,
if you're asking me to remember anything specific from 2020, I cannot.
I'm not.
I'm sorry.
So I am looking forward to this, and E3 is happening 2 days later, so we're gonna get a lot of video game news. Over those following days.
We gotta figure out some stuff for that. We'll post some stuff soon, but we gotta figure out what that's gonna look like for us this year.
It's just 24/7 streaming. That's what it is.
All the time.
Like what? What else would it be?
Cool. How many hours, if you combine every 311 album, of music would we get?
Oh, God.
Because that's how long we're streaming for.
Then we're going on a 311 cruise.
Yep.
Finally, wrapping up the news here. The Last of Us 2 is getting that PS5 upgrade. That
Chase is angry about a game he's never played. Here we go.
No. It's not that I'm. Like, what is there to upgrade?
The frame rate.
Frame rate already looks fine.
Load times.
Oh my God! Hey guys, listen. We can get famous if we buy followers.
Wow.
We should do that.
So, look, it was surprising that it hadn't happened yet, considering that game and how big it is, and like things like Ghost of Tsushima, Days Gone, like a lot of God of War, lots of other, prestige and Days Gone titles getting a PS5 bump, and so it's nice that this finally happened. And
hey, when you don't have other games coming out, why not make the old ones look good?
That's right. So I keep thinking about replaying that game just because I was not in a great headspace when I played it last year, and I think that might have affected my overall enjoyment.
Do you think it's possible the game also put you in a bad headspace?
I mean, it certainly didn't.
Maybe it's the game's fault.
No, I was not in a great. Like, I should have waited to play that game, I think.
Still think about that game a lot.
Yeah.
I don't think about it at all.
It's cool that they finally did this.
Yeah, exactly.
I did download it on my PS5 today. I might check that out sometime in the next few weeks.
It's just me and Ellie in an elevator.
Exactly.
You're mean.
I don't think about you at all.
What a fucking line. What a fucking line.
So good. God damn.
Hey, Madman's not a good show.
Oh,
no. Get out of here.
Boring. Couldn't make it past season 2.
They all can't be, they all can't be.
It's beautifully designed.
Yeah, they all can't be. It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. What if you just thought of Mad Men as The Office, but in the 60s? It is an office.
It's set in an office.
Yeah, it's basically the same thing.
That's harsh. I don't know. Like, we watched 2 seasons, and we're like, do you want to keep watching this? No, not really. Okay. So we didn't.
Yeah, I guess that's what simpletons do. So, anyway, any other news?
I like John Hamm. I think he's great.
not that we're a show about TV shows, but that mid-season finale of The Nevers is really something else. That show's awesome.
That's what the Casual Hour was built on. This isn't just a video game podcast, guys. It's a casual hour
of pop.
We talk about all the pop culture stuff that we love.
Yeah,
we just happen to only talk about video games.
Johnny, thank you for taking us through the news. Appreciate you greatly for that. Let's pop over to some credits here and wrap up tonight. So, we mentioned when Chase was talking about all those games, a quick look that he's put out for King of Seas, right? Is that right?
Yep.
King of Seas. And then he was alluding
Singular
to...
King, multiple Seas.
There it is. Lots of C's for that king. As you're listening to this, also head back to our YouTube channel, which you can find there, and check out our YouTube page, which there'll be a quick look that Johnny and Chase did. I think that's the first time for you two, on Pokemon Snap, and that'll be available there as well. If you're watching this right now, that'll be up tomorrow, probably around 9 o'clock in the morning, and you can check
Johnny,
that.
is that your first quick look? No, you did the Loop Hero one.
Yep.
Right? You two did the Loop Hero.
Yes,
the two most knowledgeable Loop Hero people did the...
Don't forget it.
Hey, you're welcome that I showed you a game that you liked. And then perfected. So yes, check that out. Check out those quick looks there. This week we mentioned that we're going to be playing some Destiny on Friday night, which should be a good time. And Johnny, have you fired up that season yet?
Yeah, I played the opening mission on my break today.
Cool. So we'll have Destiny on Friday night, and then Chase, this past Monday, you and I played the banner Bob Saget Saga. Sega
Perfect.
on Sega.
Did you say Bob Saget?
Yes.
Yeah.
If he would watch us and support us, he would know. So
the banner Saget Saga Sega
on Sega.
On Sega.
Yeah.
On Sega.
That's what we played.
With Sega.
We had a good time. We're gonna try it again on Monday, I think. We stream on Monday nights and Friday nights, 10:30 p.m. Central. We're gonna give that another go. It's a slow roll for sure. It's a really great game. It's just a different game that we haven't played on stream. So Chase and I'll be back for a casual Monday on the Bob Saget Sega banner Saga for that. Chase, you are playing Super Robot Wars. You mentioned that also. And you're doing some content creation. I have you linked here in chat. What's going on with Gamers on the Go?
You tell me, man.
I put some time in.
Yeah? You and I need to finish that game and then talk about it.
I think I'm probably close to halfway.
Yeah, I think I'm around the same. And then I've also talked to friend of the show, Pierce Corchain, and he and I have an idea of an episode that we'll do at some point. And then I know Johnny and I have like a temporary idea of, or not temporary, a tentative idea once that Analog Pocket comes out eventually. And we've got some show ideas that we can plan around that. So lots of good Gamers on the Go stuff, and then Giggy-san's in the chat, and he's always up to do a Gamers on the Go if I needed it. Yeah, it is, but I'm his friend, so I say it that way.
I wish I had a lawnmower to smash you with right now, because I have not yet relived or lived down that embarrassment of embarrassing our friend.
I mean, it's not embarrassing for me. That's my nickname for him is Giggy-san, which is funny because his nickname is actually Jiggy-san. It's it's a little pet name between two friends.
I just want to die.
I'm certainly not admitting fault or anything.
Also, we got a link to your YouTube channel. We've been playing Super Robot Wars, there's the best episode yet comes out on Saturday.
Absolutely.
Okay. Johnny.
Oh, that's right. Oh, hey, hang on, Matt. Matt Jaguar brought it up in the chat. He's been streaming some stuff too. He did his big Star Wars stream over the May the 4th, and then continued on throughout that entire week. And then he got back into it with some Gundam stuff, some more robots. He played Gundam side story Blue Destiny 2, I think, or the sequel to the Blue Destiny game, the second Blue Destiny game rather. And I was in the chat there, giving some Gundam facts for my friend. Nice. So you can go check that out too. That was a lot of fun, and maybe eventually. I think Matt in his stream said maybe next month, maybe a month or so down the line. Not get anything super specific, but we'll play that third game of the trilogy at some point.
Nice, Johnny.
Yes.
Saw a tweet from another friend of the show, Wario64, Chase's Nemesis, that you should be playing Secret Neighbor.
Dude, I've already played Secret Neighbor, and that game sucks. Even my kid thinks it sucks, who likes Hello Neighbor, so
okay,
we won't be playing.
What are you playing with your son?
He's not playing anything right now because he is grounded. So,
all right.
Sounds like you played with fire.
No video games this week.
Fair.
So is he playing just Magic the Gathering then?
We haven't played another game of Magic yet, but maybe we should this week. That'd be fun.
All right. Listen, if you enjoy what we're doing here, we've got a lot of ways to support us. We post our episodes every Friday, 9 a.m., where podcasts can be found and listened to. We're on Twitch 3 nights a week. Come hang out with us. Like us where you can. Tell somebody about us if you want to. We have a good time here at the Casual Hour. Chase and Johnny, thank you so much for hanging out tonight. And we'll be back Friday, 10:30 p.m. Central Time with a little Destiny 2 Season of the Splicer. Take care, everybody.
Later.